The Scottish moorlands, grouse country, if ever I saw it. Not that you often do see grouse because they're very elusive. If they're down in the heather, they're invisible. If you flush them, they whir away like the clappers over the top. And it makes you wonder what could possibly prey on a grouse. Well, the obvious answer is people. Shooting parties. These are shooting moors. And in terms of natural predators, grouse, let me see, the occasional bird of prey and foxes, yes, I would expect that. But they do their work at night. At this time of the day, they'll be hidden away in the woods, somewhere up there. So that's where I'm going. Right, I've got my directions. Turn left at the fir tree. This one, I reckon. And into the dark, dark wood where the wild things are. Oh. Really is dark in here, isn't it? Permanently nocturnal, which is why animals would feel... Now this is what I'm looking for. Now, it seems somebody else wants to see a fox too, but they want to see it dead. This is a snare. It's intended for foxes, and it would have been put there by a gamekeeper, although of course he will be working on the instructions of the landowner, who presumably owns the shoot and makes a fair amount of money out of grouse shooting. They don't want the foxes eating the grouse. But of course you can't have a little label on it saying foxes only, even if you accept that's what it's for, because any other animal could get stuck in there. A badger very easily could get stuck in there, a deer could get its foot in there. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but what happens is that this loop will close tightly round whichever bit of the animal it's got. It is in fact a legal snare, I hasten to add that, but being legal doesn't make it any less lethal. Rather sick play on words there, lethal though legal. And it's also in a position here where it could be even nastier, because if the animal gets in there, and again I'm not going to demonstrate, it would pull that tight. It's then got a much longer piece of wire which will, because it's struggling, almost certainly get caught round these branches. And another thing that very often happens, unfortunately, is that the animal will then strangle itself by sort of trying to pull away, and it'll dangle down there. And just to make sure that foxes and anything else are lured into this area, over there, is it a rubbish tip? Is it a new landfill site? No, it's a stink pit, because believe you me, it does stink. And of course the smell of rotting animals' flesh and various other nasty things, I'm not sure how far I'm going to go in and investigate, will bring animals in from quite a long way out. But this, the stink pit, is a bit more basic a name. And that will attract all sorts of creatures, and I hasten to stress that, all sorts of creatures. It doesn't matter that this is meant for foxes, it's all sorts of creatures. And another thought I'm having, actually, it's the first time I've seen this kind of setup, what a perverse piece of logic it is in a way, isn't it, that people want to kill an animal. And the reason they want to kill the animal is to keep another animal, or in this case a bird, alive, so that people can then go and kill that bird or animal for pleasure or for money. Certainly not for need. I can't go along with that. I don't care whether it's legal or not, just as a process of reasoning. Come in here, lovely smelly food over there, go through there, zap. And the legal, that word sticks in my craw, I promise you, the legal way of tending these traps, if you like, is that they must be visited within, I think it's a 24-hour period. That isn't always the case, I'm afraid. In some areas, I'm not saying this one, the trap could be left for days with the animal in it, suffering appallingly. They've put snares all along the line of what you can hardly call it a hedge, but almost, but that makes it even more lethal, because if the animal's caught, pulls it out, gets caught again round all these sticks, then it's going to get in a right old tangle, and it's more or less doomed if it's left there for any length of time. And in some places, unfortunately, they're quite willfully set along a proper fence, a proper hedge, and that really is dangerous, because if an animal then jumps over the fence, but it's on the end of the wire, it will quite literally hang itself. Just followed my nose and come across another stink pit. It's a gloomy old place. Everything's dead quiet, dead being the operative word, because there's bones all over the place too, and snares, one here, all around the edges, and a great line of them stretching away through the woods. And when I say a great line, let me prove it, because I'm going to count them. Okay. Whoops. There's one down there. A little bit further along. There's another one. There's 2, 3, 4, 31, 32, 32, blimey, and another 33, oh, blimey, and another one, number 66, and I'm willing to bet there'll be one here. I'm getting used to the usual position, little gap, and there it is. Number 67, yep, 67 snares set in a line right across this woodland. No animal can come from the outside of the woods, as it were, and back into the safety of the woods without passing through this wicked wall, as it were. One small consolation, I suppose, that there's nothing in any of these snares at the moment, which probably means that the gamekeeper has done his job by coming out this morning and checking them. But what will be there tomorrow morning, he doesn't know, we don't know, nobody knows. The animals don't know. It doesn't look that appalling, does it? It's almost like something the kids might have knocked up at school out of scrap metal or something like that, bend it round, oh look, I've got a circle. But believe you me, this little thing can catch and it can kill. Nevertheless, as I said, this is a legal snare. What makes it legal, I'm not going to touch it, but if you can imagine something going in there, then this loop would close up. But because that is free running, that bit there, it will actually loosen if the animal struggles, so it won't immediately lock. And to make sure that it doesn't lock, there is a little stop piece on it. I can't actually see it, it's around here somewhere, but that means that you get to a minimum size, but frankly it isn't much bigger than that, which a lot of animals would still be strangled by. And of course also it should be checked every 24 hours. But here's the thing, legal or not, any animal can be caught in one of these snares. Any animal. It could be a badger, it could be a dog, for example, and it often has been a dog. And 24 hours, well, I heard a story of a dog that got caught in one of these and died within 40 minutes. And certainly 24 hours is quite long enough to take the life of whatever has been caught in one of these things. So, I said it before, legal it may be, but lethal it definitely is.